Okay, today we are planting worms into the worm pile. We had a particularly dry winter, and I didn't bother to keep the pile wet or the garden wet, and I couldn't have probably. It was 2.5 months of without rain, so that would have been pointless anyway. But because we sit on a pretty shallow clay level, once you dry all the way through to that clay level, which is pretty quickly, the worms will all die, and there's no worms in the yard. We're pretty much an island of weed and feed, Scott's fertilizer stuff, so there wouldn't be any worms around here. So now we're looking at a big patch of worm pile with no worms in it, and today from Brothers Wormery in Austin, Texas, we have a bunch of worms we're introducing into the pile, and this stuff is as prime as you could possibly get. It just rained. We've been waiting on the rains to come, and now it's raining. I added a bunch of water from my rain barrels because it's raining so much. I'm assuming we're going to refill them again today. So I put a bunch of water on this. If you look down, it's pretty well wet, permeated. It's wet deep, which is what you're looking for. It's just a little bit warm still, but yeah. Anyway, for those who are new to this is Caleb. He's my roommate. Uh, this is some of the reason I've been expanding the farm lately is I have help. Someone to contribute with the ideas and with the labor and all this good stuff. But boy, this is good. We're sitting on about 2 feet of it. It's probably about knee high. But once the worms start eating this, once the rains start coming through, and the big pieces will stay where they're at, and the small pieces will all fall through. And then you scrape off the big pieces, it all compacts down. This is probably a lot less dirt than you think it is. Knee high right now, but once we finish it off, probably be a lot lower. Like I say, a lot of the rough, heavy matter, like this and this and this, are going to just magically rise to the surface as all the lesser stuff falls through and the worms do their job. The worms will do a lot here. Anyway, so without further ado, where are the worms? Oh, wow, okay. Here we go. I guess we'll just take off a layer of this. Yeah, that's good and cold. Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't hot because there are some chunks in there when you go way down that are still a little bit warm. I'm just going to scatter these. Okay, let's see. This whole thing is just writhing and moving. I'm going to get a close-up shot for the camera here. Supposedly there are 1,000 worms in this 1 pound bag, and this whole pile is just moving. Here, let's see if we can scatter this around a little bit. We don't have to do much. Oh, looky there, looky there. Wow, this whole thing is just moving. They're all clumped together pretty good. So I'm going to do my best as I can just to very gradually put them around. You don't want to handle your worms. Part of the no-till strategy is not handling things, not disturbing things. Nature does real well without you. So you set her up and then you walk away. But you do everything you can not to disturb it. A little close up here. Oh my goodness. And they are going to spread and multiply so quickly throughout this pile. Oh, they are digging. And you can see them. So I'm going to go ahead and cover them up gently. Go back. Gently cover up the worms. And there you can already see them pulling away. distributing themselves nicely. They are digging. And they probably won't need a lot of moisture. This pile is wet, even though the sawdust or whatever the heck that was they came in is pretty dry. I think they're going to just dig into this moist stuff. This stuff is so loose. They're going to have no problems getting into it. A lot of fibrous matter in here. There's some good stuff. And it is just, you know, you think, oh, wow, that's disgusting. It smells delicious. It smells wonderful. It smells like earth. Has a very distinct smell, this humus. When it's right, when there's been a good aerobic breakdown, it smells proper. And there's lots of white in here, indicating that I'm having good fungus as well. Oh, I'm so happy with this worm pile. And now it's officially processing. Big trick here, let it go. Don't let the chickens in here for a little bit. I think maybe probably at least a week to see if we can get those worms digging. And then, because I'm afraid the chickens, the way they scratch and peck, could go probably 6 inches a foot into this pile and get after a lot of things. So we want to give them a big chance to go. Because eventually I'm going to take chunks of this earth and distribute it all over my garden, which has been dewormed as well. I'm getting a bunch of compost in that I'm buying because I'm putting together so many new beds I won't have a chance to. This will just go only so far. So I'm going to cap my beds with this stuff, this rich living earthworm stuff. But the rest of the stuff will be a much finer compost. This will be kind of like a mulch compost. But, you know, once you put the earthworms in, they'll dig. So anyway, that's it.